What's up guys, Arky here, and long time no see. I know, it's been a year at least since I uploaded last. However, a lot of stuff has happened, so I didn't have time to edit anything. I just had time to work on stuff and do stuff. So I'm gonna edit this video finally now, and I'm gonna be able to upload and edit more in the future. So look forward to that, and enjoy the video. It's what I literally have to do every day. Have to start a fire. Today, what's the plan for today? Today, we're going to be restoring some old tools. We have some hammerheads that are rusty and in terrible condition. So we're gonna start working on restoring that. And how are we gonna remove the rust? With fun way, electrolysis. And I don't have any sacrificial metal or that I can use as sacrificial anodes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this tin cans. And you would think, you can't use tin for electrolysis. Well, yeah, because these tin cans aren't actually tin, they're just covered in tin. So first we're going to use electrolysis to remove tin from the tin cans, and then we're going to use the metal from tin cans, the iron that's in there, or steel, or whatever it is. It's magnetic, so I know for sure that it's actually metal, as you can see. Magnet sticks to it. We can lift it up. So for sure, it's some ferrous metal, and that's good enough for me because that's all we need for sacrificial metal. And it's good to use like recycled stuff for this. So I'm just gonna stop talking now because it's just too long. And let's get into it. We're boiling the water so everything that's stuck to the cans gets unstuck so I can clean them easier. Because I've been keeping these cans for a while, so everything's just kind of stuck to them. Yeah. After everything's unglued, we're going to cut them with the angle grinder because I don't have anything else to cut them with. And then we're gonna clean them up and start the electrolysis process.
Well, I'm gonna make two more. I just brought some more bottles. I'm gonna make go, and one in between we're gonna cut. Put that around here is fine.
There we go. We have 3 different sizes, and then we can do any size of anything we want. Small stuff like this, you can put here, half cover it or whatever. Something a little bit bigger like this can go in here. And I don't have anything that large that needs to go in there, but possibly what will need to go in here is sort of like that. Tin cans might have to go in here. That should be fine. So anyway, electrolysis is cool and fun. So yeah, we also, while we do electrolysis, because it is a long time process, we're going to be making handles for all of these in the meantime. So that could be cool. All right, well, I do have this can, which is basically ready. I'm gonna start cutting it with wire cutters, or try to at least. It does work. And I'm gonna try not to cut myself while I'm doing this. Let me find my protection. Well, we got everything we need. First of all, we have our non-drinkable water. That's cool. We got our tubs. We got our measurement and another small spoon for measurement. So we can start adding water in here. Take this out first. Start adding water in there. And then sodium bicarb, whatever you say it in English, soda bicarbonate, or sodium bicarbide, or whatever, I'm not sure. Water measure, spoon measure. Of course, I have my multimeter here, and when we get good enough resistance, we will know whatever we want to know if we can start electrolysis. Now, what we're going to do, because we're removing tin if there is any, because I don't know if there is, but this doesn't look thin anyway. So what are we going to use for our sacrificial anode? Well, simply enough, we're going to use this pencil, because you English people call it lead, or Americans people call it lead, but it's actually carbon inside, and carbon is pretty good conductor, so we're going to conduct with carbon. Also, this area needs to be a bit hotter, because the colder it is, the slower the electrolysis is. So I'm trying to heat up the area right now, and I think I'm just gonna move the electrolysis setup over here so I can work on this area anyway, where I'm gonna make handles for hammers and for our axe. So I'm just gonna move everything and I'll bring you back. What we need for electrolysis is first for a solution to be around 200 ohm when our testers is around 1 to 2 centimeters apart. So I guess I don't care to exactly measure that, but still. And ohms are essentially just what the resistance is, and we want as little resistance as possible. Well, not exactly. There is such thing as too much resistance, so this is what we're aiming for, something between 200 and 800. The water is nice and green colored. It's still very cold, but can't win them all. We'll make a solution and we'll heat it up. So approximately this is we're getting 5 kilo ohms, so that's not good. And it's climbing, so probably around a ton of kilo ohms. So let's add our sodium bicarbide. That might be too much. We'll see. Let's see if our resistance is any better. It's already down, maybe not. Still around the same, so we need more. Or just to stir it better, right? There is some sediment at the bottom. It's funny that resistance is climbing even higher. Maybe it just wasn't measurable and now it is getting measurable, but it's really weird that it's not going down, but I'll just keep adding. Okay, we're definitely going down. I'm gonna let it sit for now. So, interesting news. Our sodium isn't dissolving properly. It's mostly sitting at the bottom, and it's because the water is too cold. So what I'm gonna do, I have this old pot over here. I'm gonna remove this from being heated up. I'm gonna put this pot on top. Remove those. I'm going to put this old pot on. We're gonna fill it with water. And once this water is nice and warm, we're going to add, I can't pick on. All right, well, once this is all nice and warm, I'm going to put our solution that's in this kind of thing inside to warm up. And then we're gonna get warm water, and then it should dissolve properly. And then we can do our thing. So we have to wait for that for now. But since we're already waiting for that, let's start making candles for our other tools, shall we? Well, no, I did not pee myself. Shut up. There used to be a crack here. Now it's gone. I replaced the tile, and afterwards, I've not seen that much water gather here, and it's not been dripping. So far, it's not been dripping here at all. So here's hoping it's gonna stop dripping on down my neck and all the way down here as well. All right, now for handle, I have some dried firewood here. I'm thinking using that. If I don't like how it works out or how it does anything really, I'm going to use one of the scraps, like blanks from down here. We'll see what we can find. Like this one is good. Maybe use that, but we'll see. I'm gonna start with this. We'll see how it goes. Wish me good luck. We don't care too much about it, honestly. Essentially, let's say it's going a lot better than I thought, but at the same time a lot worse than I expected, so that's fine. Alright, so back to electrolysis. That is too hot, so we're gonna move it here. I put this piece of wood here, so it doesn't burn my table when I put the super hot water over here. And then we're gonna put that into hot water and stir. Hopefully it heats up a bit. Alright, well, hot water is passively heating up cold water, and cold water is passively cooling up hot water here. So while we wait for that, and I did spill some water, that's fine. While we wait for that to solve itself, we're going to continue working on our handle. Alright, well, this is where the hammerhead will go, as you can see. So I'm just chiseling around. It's not terrible. It does look silly though. It does look silly. Alright, but I had a genius idea. So right now, a problem is this plastic cannot be touching this metal while it's heating over there on the stove. So I just had an idea. What if I just cut some of these and then put the plastic on top of those? Then only water will heat up the plastic, and we can have warm water a lot quicker, right? That's the idea anyway. Let's try it. There we go. We cut 2 pieces of wood. We're gonna put them like that. The solution's gonna go like this. I'm gonna put some water. This is going to come to a boil. And this won't get damaged. I hope. We'll see though. Alright, let's see the update on this. It's actually kind of boiling. Yeah, the water is hot enough, I think. Let's measure the resistance for now and see. That's how we'll decide if it's good enough or not. Around 3 or 4 kilo ohms, which is still not ideal, but I don't know. It seems like the bicarbonate doesn't want to dissolve any better for I don't know why. But should be. Let's try it. I'm gonna stir a bit more. We'll test a bit more, then I'll bring you back. All right, new invention made. It's stir 3000. It can stir 3000 times per something. I don't know. I just literally put a nail through a cap, and yeah, that wasn't. That was a terrible idea in hindsight. I've done goofed. Damn it. It's too much. Instead of going straight. Is it salvageable? No, I don't think so. Because if we go straight, yeah, for sure not salvageable. Well, starting again. Perfect. A large knot there, so I'm not gonna use it. Not now, anyway. Well, that's a bit frustrating because I spent hours working on that, but I gave up on making one for a hammer. We'll make one for the axe. It's already cracked here. That's where we're gonna cut it, hopefully. And the axe might have a little bit longer handle than it used to, but it should be good enough. Man, whatever, it is what it is. Let's start working on it. No point in wasting time. All right, so we managed to cut this. It's still longer than the current handle, and that's fine. And this is the half of it piece, and you can still replace the handle that I was gonna make for this hammer. So that's fine. We still have 2 handles we can make. Set up, we just have to start making them, I guess. But yeah, starting from scratch, that's fun. Alright, well, this is the old nail from a railroad that was shoved into the top of this axe's head. And I still want to keep it, though not as something that will be in the axe head, like up here. I want it maybe to be inside of a handle or something. So what I'm likely going to do is cut it to be shorter and sharpen it again, and then shove it maybe into the side of the new handle. So it's still there, but just has a decorative purpose rather than actual purpose. All right, well, this is where we hold our tools, and this is a junk drawer full of cables and everything. And guess what we're gonna use? We're gonna use something from the junk drawer, which is this. We have 15 volts, 1.5 amps output, which is what we're going to use for electrolysis. And it's an exciting day because you get to use something from the junk drawer. All right, well, anyway, let's start on electrolysis because I'm bored. I wanted for electrolysis to run in the background while I'm doing everything else, but it seems like my solution is not even ready. So how are we going to start it? Very simple. We need power, DC, of course, which is what this will provide, as I showed previously. Don't need to explain it again, I don't think. We're going to remove and strip down some wires. And now we just need to figure out which one is plus, which one is minus. How do we figure out which one is plus, which one is minus? Very simply, we will take our multimeter tool. We will set it for DC voltage. We will take a wire. We'll turn it around our measuring prongs. Not sure how you call it in English though, as I never am. We put one on plus, we put one on minus. And now we know if we're gonna die or not. To watch it blow a fuse or something stupid. Alright, no problem. No problem, but also no voltage. Why? There we go. No, it's showing me millivolts, right? There we go, 15 volts. It just took a while to figure out what it's supposed to do. So 15 volts, that's good. And this is minus, because right now it's showing me minus 15 volts, which means the red is plus prong, which means it goes on a plus, and black is minus. So if it doesn't show plus 15 and it shows minus 15, it means that we need to go opposite. So how are we gonna mark them for forever? Well, we're gonna mark plus with some electric tape so we know which end it is. And then let's double check. Take minus, take plus. And there we go. Now we have plus 15, as you can see, and we have proper plus on plus and minus on minus. All right, next thing we're gonna prepare is we're gonna prepare our graphite, which is gonna strip it out of our pen and hope that it's not too terribly broken in many pieces, like it seems it is. That's really bad. Okay, 1 second. Alright, well maybe it's not that terrible actually. Alright, well we have a small piece of graphite, let's hope it doesn't break. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a smaller solution. I'm gonna start cutting this piece into smaller strips. And we'll see how that's gonna end. Alright, well, cool thing is kitchen scissors can cut this into strips pretty nicely. They can't cut the top off, which is fine. That's what we're gonna use our wire cutters for. Alright, well, here's the deal. When we want tin removal, on tin metal we go plus, and steel or graphite we go minus. And on rusty metal, when we want to remove rust, which is the next step, we have rusty minus and sacrificial plus, or our tin metal that's gonna turn, or these strips that are gonna turn into steel. So, since I cut the steel plates to smaller pieces, I'm going to use a smaller bowl, if I can find where I left it. There it is. Into here. That should be fine. I'm gonna measure our resistance now. Let's see what we have. If we need to add more or less sodium or less. We have 1.5 or 2, so we want a little bit more. We want tin metal and plus on the metal. Well, how are we gonna do it? Well, I'm gonna drill a hole through it, or just gonna poke a hole, I'm not sure. Hammer time. Yeah, I think I broke the graphite, which is cool. No, it's here. Okay, this is our piece of graphite. Graphite minus. I want a little bit more wire also. Graphite is in water. Alright, well, something is definitely happening. And that's cool. That's definitely cool. Alright, it's working. I don't know if you can see. There you go. You can see a little bit reactions going on. What we're gonna do now. Not sure how smart this is, but it seems to be working fine. Let's measure our voltage. What if that's fine. I think that's fine. .7 volts, that's pretty good actually. Well, electrolysis definitely is happening. I'm not sure how long this should take. We get 4 volts, not ideal. Should get all 15, but just the fact that it's working is huge success for now. And we can stop it just by taking this off. Oh yeah, you can definitely see that it's heating up. That's really cool, actually. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. Try to remove the tin. Not sure if it's gonna work or not. And then we're gonna switch around rusty and minus, which is fine. That's perfect. We're gonna try put something rusty in that I don't care about, like this hammerhead. Just gonna put part of it. Part of it is gonna be wired up. And we're gonna try and see how it works. Is it hot? It's not hot, it's just changing color. Let's let it run for a little bit more. Why not? I obviously cannot start working on making handles if this is here on the desk. So I'll probably take extension cord and put it next to the fire. It's a bad idea because it creates gas that's flammable, but what can you do? What can you do though? Alright, so here's the deal. The last electrolysis stopped. You can see it started stripping it at the bottom, but then it stopped. I'm gonna try to use a nail this time for electrolysis instead of graphite that I had. I'm just lucky I have old nails. I forgot about those. So yeah, we'll try to use that. We'll see how it goes. I'm heating up electrolysis solution. I'm gonna put it in there and gonna try again. It's really annoying that it's pulsing like that. I need another power supply then, in that case. I'll go inside, check it. I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. Our electrolysis solution is the power supply for our electrolysis solution is dead as fuck. So we can't do electrolysis, which means we can't, we can do it, but it's like activated anytime this blinks. And that's not ideal. I'm gonna get a better power supply. I'm gonna take it out old computer power supply or something like that. I'm not sure. But I need resistors to limit the current output. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm gonna call it for today. Gonna shut that off, take our phone charger, gonna pack our shit, and go. We tried, we failed, and there's so many things that went wrong today anyway that I think let's just call it, because first of all, I went out to buy more tools at flea market. Flea market, nobody was there. I don't know why. That was weird. Then we started making handle for hammer. That didn't work, so I'm gonna quit that. Yeah. Then electrolysis solution died. I think that's enough for today. I'm gonna go relax, gonna do other shit inside my home, and I'm gonna come back this with fresh mind tomorrow. I think that's fine. All right, well, I rested up. I had enough time to think about stuff, and I decided we're gonna use a regular table salt instead for electrolysis. Why? Because table salt will not turn into this mush, and I should get instant, easier solution without having to have certain temperature for this to work. And when I do that, then I will try to do electrolysis with this same thing. If that doesn't work, I need another power supply, which I can't do today. So I can if I want, but I don't because I have plans. So what are we gonna do? In that case, we're gonna just make ourselves a handle, or try to, maybe fail again, we'll see. It's all part of our learning curve, so we'll see how things go. And yeah, see you later, I guess. Well, I decided to do smaller scale electrolysis, and it is working. So that's cool. Our power supply is working. That makes me happy. It's just salt in water in a old Nutella jar. And it is working. I'm not sure if gas can escape properly, but it's fine. Should be fine, hopefully. Now, one thing to note is salt will release toxic gases, so I'm not supposed to breathe it in, not supposed to be that close to it. So what I'm gonna do, because electrolysis is gonna be super slow, the colder it is, I'm gonna try move it somewhere over there. Maybe make a temporary shelf or something. But first, let's heat up this area more because I'm cold as hell. Well, electrolysis is working, which is one of the greatest news today, I heard. Second greatest news. The first one is my sister is pregnant, which means I'm gonna become a father. No, it's fine. It's not like that. I'm an uncle, which is cool. Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, I'm just gonna busy talking to them now, so my progress is gonna be super slow. So if the video is late, that's why. But it's a great reason for video to be late, isn't it? It changed the interesting color. That's really interesting. I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen, but it did happen, which is cool. Actually, while we're at it, let's see how the tin removal is going. Actually, it's happening. You can see small lines. That's pretty cool. Let's let it continue. So that's what it is. It's thin. Look. It's literally thin. That's really cool. I must say, that's really cool. I think most tin probably has fallen apart. I'm not sure. It says 30 minutes. It's been running for maybe 10 or less. One thing I don't like, knowing that toxic fumes come out of that. So we have to do something about that. Change where it's gonna sit and where it's gonna do electrolysis. For that one at least. I'm thinking making a shelf maybe here on this wall. Should do. Because everything can vent out. The air is coming from here and it'll go out or something. I'm not sure. But definitely don't want to leave it here. That's an option. Another option, somewhere near the fire, make a shelf, maybe. Not sure. Either way, I think I'm gonna stop it for now, just in case. And we're gonna continue later. Alright, our handle has been made. Hatchet done. We still have a long way to go, but the top of it is starting to make shape, which I like. I can't wait to finish. It's gonna look so cool. Just because I made it myself, not because it's gonna actually look cool. It's gonna look okay, at the best. Alright, boys. So, most of the handle design has been made. I'm still deciding if I want to keep this or I'm gonna cut it. I am gonna keep this kind of half circular. But right now, because I don't have any proper other tools, I chisel as much as I want it. I'm still deciding if I'm going to keep this. If I do keep it, I'll chisel it so it's thinner and flat like this. If I cut it, then I don't need to chisel it. But so far, I'm going to work on this part of the handle, and I'm going to start shaping it with a rasp. And yeah. And shaping it with just chisel and a rasp is taking a long time. But that's fine because I think it will look cool as hell when I'm done. I hope at least. We'll see. The back of it, now that it's a bit smoother, feels pretty good. The front is still blocky. So I'm gonna try sort that out a bit, if possible. Well, my battery is at 15%, but I'd say it's looking pretty good. What do you guys think? Not too terrible. First ever handle, actually. I'm quite happy with it. What I'm gonna do is add some edges on this side, maybe. There's some like fine detail work we can put in. Alright, so this is day 2, and this is why I wanted sodium bicarbonate, because after around same time of electrolysis with this sodium bicarbonate, other than sodium being on top, there is no really problem to the metal, right? But the other one that was in a regular salt solution is already rusting, which is not ideal. Now, that being said, I never dried it off or removed the salt off of it, so that's probably why it's rusting. And if I protect my axe that I'm working on, if I protect my axe, remove all the rust from it. There is not that much rust, to be fair, but still I'm going to remove all the rust from it. As with other things, like this hammerhead is pretty rusty, right? So when we remove rust from it, we do not want... When we remove rust from it, we do not want it to be rusty like this. So for now, first, I'm going to just try drying it off. And yeah, but for now, what I'm going to do first, while I'm working on this handle, first of all, I started flattening it out here. Why? No reason. I wanted to shrink it tiny bit more, so I flatten it first. I'm gonna start making it circular again. Same with this here. I wanted a bit more room for my fingers underneath the handle. Same, this is pretty good. This is okay. And this doesn't feel that comfortable to hold. That's because it's designed to be held like this, so I can hit things with the blunt end of it, because it's mostly going to be used as a hammer, and sometimes, only sometimes, I'm going to be using it to chop stuff. And when I want to chop stuff, I'm going to want finer control rather than hitting it with this far end of a handle. I want to hit it as close. Small, light chops to split wood into tinier wood. That's the idea anyway. Again, for a first ever handle, only shaped with the rasp and chisels, I don't think it's too bad. And also, yeah, I learned quite a bit making it, and I know how I'm going to improve the next one. Though this one is not done, so I'm not done improving it just yet anyway. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool once I finish it completely. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to continue working on the handle, and I will bring it back afterwards. Or I might just show you the handle or process making or whatever. Look at all this sawdust though. All of that by hand and this rasp and maybe a little bit of sandpaper, right? That's kind of really cool. Look at that. Now the water is clear, you can see stuff actually happening in real time. That's really cool. I also put the fresh plate because I was worried the other one's not doing the correct thing, but so far so good, it seems. Well, the water has turned kind of cloudy, but I mean, it seems like it's still working. So, like, seems like the process is ongoing. What if I stop it? Oh yeah, you can see it being removed. That's really cool. Let's leave it there. No. Why must you eat shit now? When I'm recording of all things. Get the hell out of my swamp! Look at that, it's cool. Alright, so how did you do, is my question. Seems like it's mostly been cleared off. Alright, so this is the product so far. It's pretty good. That's all removed tin and stuff. I could drill a hole at the top and do it opposite. And this is what the water looks like. So I don't know about the water. I might need to throw it away. I don't know if I can use it for anything. I don't know what this concoction is. I'm gonna throw it down my, it's not a sewer, but whatever. It is my personal sewage, whatever you call septic thing. Just gonna throw it down my septic, and hopefully that's fine. Yeah. Then we're gonna wash the bowl. We're gonna start a new concoction, where we're gonna start by testing the removal of rust of this small piece. We'll see how it goes before we sacrifice important stuff like the hammerhead. They got wet. Sorry for that, Mr. Hammerhead. Yeah, hammerhead got, yeah, that's gonna be next. But first, I'm gonna start this piece of metal, see if the rust is getting removed or not. And I'll bring you after I clean all of this up. Okay, I did it this way so the copper is not going into the water, just the iron. And we're gonna plug it in and see how it goes, if it goes at all. Alright, well, it is going. It could be that it's too cold for us to observe anything specifically, electrolysis. Or it could be I've not added any salt at all, which I actually forgot. 1 second. Alright, well, immediately we can see a reaction, which is good now that we added salt. I really need not to be so close to it. But it's fine. Next time, this is just a mini setup. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, next time we're going to have a proper setup made. But for now, for testing, I think that's fine. What I don't like at all is I can see no reaction over here, which is not good. But let's hope everything goes well over here at the iron that's supposed to be removed. That are supposed to be removed from. We'll check back in like 30 minutes or so. Fuck it, we're going electrical. So this is how our mixture is going so far, electrolysis. And I'd say it's doing pretty good because there's a ton of rust going in there, which is great. It's exactly what we want. That's cool. Yeah, a bunch of rust is collecting at the top. Well, I don't know if that's exactly what we want because I think still some tin was falling from this. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is falling apart. That's super cool. That some of it is falling apart inside there. I don't know if you saw that. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to the camera. But yeah, look at that. It lost like whole last piece of it. That's kind of cool. Maybe kind of bad, but definitely super cool. Now, let's see this piece. I'm not holding my breath because it was maybe only an hour that we did the electrolysis for. Yeah, I don't see much difference. I'm gonna try clean it up. I'm gonna bring you back after. Okay, that look, it definitely worked. Look at that. Those are actually great results for our test. But for sure, for the main setup, for sure, I'm moving that next to the window. I'm gonna cut a small hole. I have a small fan, which is here, and that's gonna be blowing air out. So I'm not breathing in the chemicals that are going out. Yeah, definitely. You'll see. It will be cool, and additionally, it will be ideal. Oh yeah, this is getting kind of hot. Considering how cold it is outside, that's impressive that that's getting hot. Yeah, considering everything, it's not too bad. Like genuinely, this is amazing that I can recycle old cans. They are falling apart, but the fact I can recycle old cans that I have anyway without having to get sacrificial anodes or anything like that is amazing to me. I just need salt, and it's super cheap, 50 cents a box, and I need one for 1 kilogram, and I only need like 2 spoons for this amount or so. I'm not sure if that's super efficient or not. There's still so many tests to do, so many things to figure out. I'm genuinely just excited about it. Like, I'm gonna leave this for tomorrow. I want to see how it's gonna look once it's all settled. Maybe a terrible idea, maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, definitely I can make as many of these bowls as I want because I have so many plastic bottles. So everything is being out of recycled metal and recycled scrap or whatever. Everything's being reused just so we can reuse stuff like hammerheads, X heads, and so on. So yeah, this is gonna be so cool. Even though there's not that much rust, I'm still gonna derust it with that just because it's cool. It will probably be faster if I did it with sandpaper. I do not care. Yeah, and then we put it on a handle and sharpen it. That's gonna be so cool, dude. It's gonna be so cool. Anyway, I'm gonna pack up for tonight, and this is gonna wait for me tomorrow to continue. I'm a genius. Fire refused to start. So I don't have bellows, so I use the fan, and now the fire is going. Great. 10 out of 10. 10 points for me. All right, this chimney was sloped, so I nailed a piece of metal. This is from the bed, and it works perfectly. It's just nailed to this plank that's actually from the roof. I don't think it's very good because this is all waterlogged and damaged, but it's holding so far, so it will do. Step back. It's beautiful. I even left my hammer there. I'm a dumbass. He's a cat. He's a kitty cat. And he meows, meows, meows. Meow, meow. Tomo. Tomislave. Meow. He meowed back. He meows back. All right, so here's the deal. We have. I'm sorry for not interesting footage. It's just me, and my awesome hair. Great hairline. 10 out of 10. Anyway, what was I saying? Right. So we don't have everything. We don't have everything, but yeah, we don't have a lot of stuff. So first things first, we want to do electrolysis, right? So what do we don't have? We don't have washing soda. I could make washing soda, but I need to go buy the sodium bicarbonate and then put it in the oven for 200 degrees for like an hour, and that would make sodium carbide. Do you want to do that? Sure, but the whole point of doing all of that is right now when we use salt, like you can see, we make chlorine gas, right? And chlorine gas is kind of toxic. I do not want to breathe it in. So what's my option? Well, sodium bicarbide would not produce that. It would produce oxygen, but I need certain temperature, and right now it's too cold for that temperature outside, and even if I put it next to the stove, it would still be too cold. I have to do electrolysis directly on stove, and then question is if that would work. Because I'd have to keep the stove on constant temperature, and that's kind of hard. Also, as you can see, I already tried to warm up the water and it just leaves white stains, which we do not want. Another thing we can do is just chuck the bucket outside and do it outside, and that's cool when it's not raining. And I want kind of a permanent setup because I want to restore a lot of tools in this way. And ideally, that's it would be ideal to have a setup, because not only do we produce chlorine gas, and with other solutions we wouldn't produce it, but we're always going to produce hydrogen, and that's also explosive, so we do not want that. So I have a solution for all of that, and that is this non-existent window. We're going to fix the window. Can you go there? Yeah. We're going to fix the window. I don't know if you can hear me from there. I don't care. Anyway, we're going to fix the window, and we're going to be using this small fan. Oh, you cannot see anything there. We're going to use this small fan for everything. Well, not for everything. We're going to use this small fan to basically blow away all the air. It is rated for 220 volts, which is what we use in Europe here, and that should be fine. It should be in whatever speed. I just need to make something to hold the fan, and that, and a window that I can open and close. Why do I want a window that I can open and close? Well, because when it's cold, I want to still close it when I'm not doing electrolysis, and then open it when I want to get the air out from doing electrolysis. What's the problem with that idea? Well, what isn't the problem with that idea? So here, the problem with doing that idea is all the hot air with fan running will be directly going outside, and I'll be cold. Is that worth it to not breathe in chlorine gas? For sure. Not adding hydrogen inside? Also for sure. So we're going to do that. Ideally, our oven, or sorry, our furnace would be in that corner, but that corner is bad because we have rain going through and down, so it will get rusty too fast. I do not want to throw it away in a year. I still want to be able to use it in a couple of years. Maybe, or maybe just have it as an emergency oven, furnace, whatever, fire stove. Anyway, what we're going to do is make a window over there, or fix up the original window, and that will make outside also look pretty cool. Slowly restoring the shed, slowly restoring the shed. This is the wood we're going to be using, and I'm just gonna start working on it. I've not decided completely what I'm gonna do, but what I'm gonna do for sure is maybe make a small shelf here so I can still walk through. I originally I didn't want a shelf here because I'm like, when I'm walking through, there's not gonna be that much space from the wall to here. So I was like, yeah, I want to have as much space as possible when I want to walk through, but these are always here. And if I make a shelf, I can store some wood there and other stuff, and then I can actually walk through. So shelf it is. I don't like it because this is now never supposed to be a permanent solution, this shed. But I mean, whatever, I need it, and I'm gonna make it. And you can't do anything to stop me, so fuck you! We block off this part of the window. First off, we're gonna remove the metal. We're gonna block off this part of the window, close it off, and make our own new smaller window and have a smaller shelf that's gonna sit over there for electrolysis. It is kind of close to the stove, which is what I don't like. But what I was thinking is take a plank, put it there, it just go enough, maybe cut the corner so it's semi-circular right there, so it doesn't heat up as much from the wood or from the stove. We're really tight on space. That's about it. All right, taking apart these pallets for long planks. We kind of don't even have space inside for it, but that's fine. Terrible. What a terrible situation. All good though. All right, this board is the longest. We're gonna be taking it, putting it there. All right, so idea now is to have one big board. It's gonna cover all of this here. Maybe if I can find even fatter one, go extend it a bit further out towards me like this. Yeah. Here, cut and go back in there, ideally. So, do we have anything that fits the description? All right, well, here it is. Well, there it is. All right, let's drive it in. You want to know something funny? This piece is left over from the door, and it might just perfectly fit into the window, even though I didn't plan. I'm gonna say that I did plan, and it's all good. What I'm doing here, since it's not the cut is not straight, so I'm just using Shinto rasp and rasping away, so you can see the black lines that I drew. That's where between where I need to go a little bit down, and same down here, from the line all the way down, and hopefully I can close it up soon, real soon. And perfect, it's in place. At least it's closed. Now we have to deal with this hole, and I don't know what to put there. All right, well, before we finish the window, I want to finish the shelf. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. This holding you there. Shelf is done. We can put our tools there. I can still walk. We have our window. And I'm in a workshop. Short planks will go here, all stacked up. Underneath, maybe some firewood or something. I'm not sure. I'll see. Over here, we'll go longer planks underneath the table. Why? Because they can go all the way out there. I do not care. Hey, that rhymes. All right. Well, I did something, and basically I added. These are going to go. These blocks are gonna go here like that, and I put some planks here and here. These are bolted, and these aren't, so I can move them if I need to. Why? Because I don't know. I didn't want to make this permanent. Didn't want to waste more screws, and I just put it here so it's not directly on the ground, because the ground is moist and I don't want any moisture going into the wood directly. I don't want it to absorb, so I have some space between. Hopefully it helps. We'll see. All right, so I made a decision how I'm gonna make the window. So here it is, fairly simple. Boards are gonna go down. Why down? I don't know. I just felt like it. So that's what's gonna happen. Let's start working on it. There is this bullshit, and this is kind of thin, and I'm gonna use that. We're gonna cut it in several pieces. This should do it, and I hope that one is going to be enough. All right, so this board is around 190. So we have board 190, right? And if we want to know how many boards we will get of the size 52, we would divide it by 52, and that's around 3. So approximately 3. It's a 3 point something, but I don't know how to calculate it. So it's 150. 150 is 3, and then it doesn't have another, so it's maybe 0.5 or something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Either way, we have 3, and the width of the board. So we know if one board for everything will be enough. We need a width of the board is around 16, slightly under 16, but that's fine. So let's round it out. 16 times 3 boards equals 48. So we have exact, just by pure luck, this board is exact, which is pretty cool. We have exact numbers to make the window. So I don't know what to tell you, boys, but it seems like luck is on our side, and or fate wants us to build this window. I don't know. The numbers match up for sure. No, don't you dare. All right, well, everything's been leveled now, again. We have put those boards back there. We have our spray foam. We're gonna start filling in stuff, mostly the cracks around here. And if I have some left over there also. But yeah, let's start, shall we? Well, that's finished. We just need to make a handle over there, and that's fine. I think, yeah, sure, why not? All right, well, I put some linseed oil on the handle, and I also put the handle. I don't know what I recorded last, honestly, but yeah, we have a handle. I also put some linseed oil on this. I really like it, honestly. The black, the darker, and lighter looks very nice. Also, this, and it's openable and it's closable. And now we can do our electrolysis over here. We can open the window, put a fan there, blow all the air out. That's fine. It's almost perfect over there. The cut not being straight got it fucked. Over here is almost perfect. Perfect. So that's basically our seal. So less air goes in and out. And other than here, I cannot feel like almost any air going out anywhere, which is pretty cool. A little bit here, actually, but not bad. Not bad at all. If I really wanted to absolutely no air to go through, I would put small boards here all the way around, like small frames. So when it closes, it hits those small boards, and that would stop it from getting the air in as much as possible, at least. But yeah, that's fine. And then I also put some linseed on this doorknob here. Though I have no idea why it's completely different color than over there and over there, but whatever, I don't mind. It's not like I care about that doorknob too much. I can always change it, right? It's not a knob, it's a handle, but whatever, fine. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and I see you next time. Please like and subscribe and all that crap, and bye bye.